Yo, 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 salute, you hurt? No, I'm just playing, dog. That's how them New York niggas be saying. Salute, you hurt? Word of my mother. Hey, man, thank you for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in, man, like, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, share. All that good stuff, brother. Um, I want to talk about the Shakur Stevenson hate. I think sometimes we get things twisted and misconstrued, or we get confused on whether to judge someone in the ring based on their outside character and antics compared to how they produce in the ring. Shakur Stevenson is still, to this day, one of the most pure elite boxers of this era. Regardless of how you feel about him, some fans of boxing or some people who follow boxing, they say he runs a lot. I beg to differ. You know, just because someone is really good at getting out of the way of someone's money punch or getting out of the way of getting punched, that to me is not running. He's had some moments where he kind of was on his bicycle at times, but it's very rare. It's like usually when the fight is already pretty much over, or when he just maybe in that moment don't want to engage. But regardless of what style of fight that you like, a lot of times, okay, like for example, to all the you great Mexican boxing fans out there, a lot of y'all like the put your head down and just swing and just go back and forth and see who's gonna withstand each punch the most. Some of y'all like that style more, and that's okay. I respect that. But you got to remember, there's many different styles of fighting in the ring, and as long as you are fighting within the rules of the ring of box, the said rules that's implemented in boxing, then a win is a win. You know, a lot of these fighters that these guys admire, they're not all knockout artists. So really, I think these fans who are uh, supporters of a different style of fighting, rather versus maybe the way certain black fighters fight, which is very sharp, fast, clean. You know, don't want or care to be touched. Don't like to be all bruised up and bloodied up at the end of the fight, to where the referees will be like, I don't know. Can I say this? Can I say this person won the fight when their face is just as bad, if not worse, than their opponent? No. So to me, I feel like it's just jealousy and it's hate, and it's more envy of the fact that their favorite fighters can't do what Shakur Stevenson can do. Mayweather did the same thing. And as much as I'm not a fan of Mayweather outside of boxing, I gotta be 100% honest. To me, he was still one of the most elite and the best fighters of his era. If we want to start comparing every other era, that's a different story. But I watched Mayweather from. Matter of fact, he made his boxing debut on my birthday, even though I wasn't paying attention to him then. I think it was in 1996, October 11th, 1996 is when Mayweather had his first professional boxing debut after the Olympics. But Mayweather, remember, Pretty Boy Floyd was a dog. He had more knockouts. He was fast. He was very crafty, shifty. He still had his shoulder roll. He had the same defense. Floyd Money Mayweather. Excuse me. Pretty Boy Floyd and Floyd Money Mayweather had the same exact defense. The defense didn't change. It was just more so the dynamic of the offense. Usually, when Pretty Boy Floyd had you hurt, he would go for the kill. He'll jump on you right away. He'll even sometimes gas himself out a little bit and he'll slow down. Then he'll have to start pacing himself again. And then sometimes Pretty Boy Floyd would get in trouble a little bit or get caught by a punch he didn't see every now and then because of the fact that he would be a little more reckless with his attack, even though he was still one of the most accurate pinpointing boxers. But when he became Money Mayweather, he knew his power was declining. He knew he wasn't as fast as he used to be, so he still utilized the same defense he had as Pretty Boy Floyd, the shoulder roll, Philly shuffle, whatever you want to call how he used his defense. But then in the offensive side, he focused more on his accuracy, points, hit and not get hit. That's the name of the game. That's boxing. If it was a street fight, that's a totally different story. But it's not a street fight. It's boxing. So, and you got to remember, all of these guys respectfully are in the ring for a reason, deserve to be in the ring, no matter if it's a European fighter, a Black American fighter, or a Mexican fighter. They all have their Cuban fighters, Puerto Ricans, Africans. They all are respected in their own right. But the fact that people want to hate so much on a very elite style, the most, not only the most popular style, but the most unbeatable style out there, y'all want to hate on that. Knockouts are the most popular of them all. But when you got guys like Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Pernell Whitaker, Mayweather, Hagler, Muhammad Ali, what what helped them in their career and what made them legends? It wasn't the knockouts. It wasn't all fighting all just, like a pit bull in there all the time. No, it was mastering the sweet science of boxing. Mastering your opponent, outclassing your opponent, and beating your opponent. Whether it's one times or whether it's a rematch or not. I think the hate needs to stop, and I feel like the same hate is directed towards Shakur Stevenson. Just because people want to force Shakur Stevenson to fight the way they want to see him fight their favorite fighter, or a fighter that they think is going to beat him, everybody want to discredit him. So just because Shakur Stevenson don't fight the way you want him to fight, you want to discredit him. You want to hate on his record. You want to hate on the opponents he fought, and you want to hate on his style of boxing. When his style is probably the most dangerous style for any top fighter that want to keep their O. Tank, Shakur called out Tank. Tank don't want to take that risk because he knows Shakur Stevenson's boxing style is a problem for him. Not because of running, because it'll be hard for Tank to hit Shakur. And Tank knows that it might not be hard for Shakur to hit Tank repeatedly. Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson has called out Devin Haney a number of times. Devin Haney know what it is. It's Shakur's style that gives him concerns. It's not the worry of getting knocked out possibly, but it's the worry of getting embarrassed and getting beat. That's what y'all hate about Shakur, is he has a style that your favorite fighter probably can't win against. Let's just keep it a big buck. That's why y'all hating on him. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like him outside of the ring. Like I said earlier, I don't like Mayweather outside of the ring. To me, he be not as a grandfather now, not as a father. I'm just talking about just the promoter Mayweather. I'm not a fan of him. He's a goofy to me. But the fighter Mayweather, whether it's Floyd Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy Floyd, that nigga was him. You had to say he was the best until he retired. Of course, people were saying Pacquiao was better than Mayweather and all this other stuff. But I mean, teach his own. Whatever your argument is, whoever you feel is the best. There was a lot of great fighters of Mayweather's era. So you could definitely put Mayweather, Pacquiao, Mosley. Well, Ricky hadn't got dethroned. De La Hoya for sure. You got to put De La Hoya up there. you know, Bernard Hopkins, even though Hopkins is more Roy Jones era, but still, y'all know what I mean? Like, you couldn't deny that Mayweather made you nervous every time. If you was rooting against Mayweather, whatever fighting you was rooting for against him, you were nervous every time before the fight because this nigga was too overconfident. Nigga just walking in the ring with gum, just chilling. Like another day in the office for him. Like he was the highest paid fighter, and it's him by himself, so he can't hide behind a team or group up and say, "Oh, I did it," and you got other players that helped you do it as well. No, you're in the ring by yourself, so you got to give credit. And his resume speaks for himself. He's beat all the top fighters of his era. So it's not Shakur Stevenson's fault that some certain fighters aren't fighting him. It's not Shakur Stevenson's fault that a lot of fighters a lot of fight fans just don't like him. What is you not liking him? What is you not liking Shakur Stevenson have to do with anything that has to do with what he does in the boxing ring? He's elite. He's one of Rolly Romero even said it out of his own mouth. He said Shakur Stevenson probably has the most purest boxing skills of any fighter in this era. But his rebuttal or his counter to that was, but he's a boring fighter. Nobody wants to see that style of fighting. So y'all let Rolly Romero speak for y'all. Well, since when do other men control the narrative for you? When you gonna use your own mind and your own eyes to see what's going on? Rolly Romero is a better fighter than Shakur? Is Rolly Romero's style more appealing than Shakur's? Just because he throws haymakers and he has a bruising style? No. So you look dumb when you hate on a man who still has an O on his record. You're hating on a man when a man hasn't tested dirty for any possible performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, anything. You look dumb when you hate on a man who dominates in the ring, no matter whatever fashion it is, and then you look for more excuses to say about him. Say he's running. Okay, well then the judges didn't think he was running because they tally up points every round. So if you're just running and you're not punching, you're not hitting the guy, you're gonna lose the fight because they're gonna say that guy's he's the more aggressive, so he dictated the fight more, and then you didn't even throw punches. That's obviously not the case for Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson throws punches every round. He throws more punches than his opponent every round. Every round. And he gets very rarely hit by that opponent in every round. So that's common sense that the judge is going to be like, well, hey, this is a wash. Nigga, what you mad about? That's what I don't get about some of y'all. Y'all be hooked on phonics, bruh, for everything. Every subject matter. It's like I just listen to people talk and I see how people react, I'll be like, damn, is this what AI has done to the brain? Like, nigga, give a damn about who you like, nigga. Who was the best? A lot of people didn't like Jordan when he was dominating in his heyday. But you couldn't take away what he accomplished. A lot of people didn't like Kobe when he was dominating in his heyday. Even when they try to say, oh, he's Robin to Batman, or like he's the sidekick to Shaq. Really? But he won 2 more. He went to the finals 3 more times after that and did it. He won an extra ring. So Shaq ran to Miami, won his ring. Kobe won 2 more. He surpassed Shaq in rings, but they still make excuses. And y'all still try to say, well, shit, we can't give him credit for the first 3 because Shaq carrying him. Really? Did you see the stats? Kobe's stats is very equivalent to his, especially after the repeat and the three-peat. The first one, yeah, it was more based around Shaq. But then Shaq was declining more. People started catching on to Shaq, and they knew how to contain him. Nobody couldn't contain Kobe. Kobe was the facilitator, the scorer, the defender, everything. So my point is, it's like, don't hate on people when they in their greatness, when they're in the middle of the era. Why don't you just watch and observe, and then after it's all said and done, then you make your, determination on where you think that person lies in as far as, an all-time great. Because Shakur Stevenson, more than likely will be a Hall of Famer. Unless they just really just super blackball this boy, which people are trying this. They trying hard to do it right now. Even black people are trying to blackball Shakur Stevenson. Like, God damn, leave the boy alone. Yeah, sometimes he says some stuff that we don't agree with. Sometimes the way he acts, and his cockiness, just like people felt about Mayweather, sometimes it bothers us, but that don't mean he's trash. That don't mean he ain't a great fighter. Stop being so emotional and personal about the person and judge the skill set. Judge their output, the work they put in the sport that you attach to, that y'all love talking about like y'all experts. So since y'all think y'all such experts, you need to give us an expert opinion. You need to start showing that you actually know the sport of boxing and that you're not biased, that you're not a fanboy. Because a lot of y'all are fanboys. A lot of y'all gravitate to a certain fighter and y'all pro that fighter. And if anybody else is within the vicinity of them or could threaten them and their record, and they even if they know their fighter is kind of avoiding that person, y'all will make every excuse possible. Y'all will diss the other fighter, knowing the fighter that you like don't want to fight him. So Shakur is so much easy work. If he's so easy, fight him. Tell y'all's fighter to fight Shakur. Because Shakur ain't ducking nobody. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. He ain't ducking nobody, dog. So y'all niggas get in y'all feelings and act like Shakur is just a bum. Shakur is not a bum. Go back and look at all his fights. He's not a bum. He a dog, actually. That boy, he may not have the most power, but the boy he let his hands go. When he go with the or that what? Shakur is in his bag. When Shakur's and he going that Shakur's in his bag. Trust and believe, dog. So I'm not even a big Shakur Stevenson fan. I'm not even a big Devin Haney fan. I damn sure ain't no Teofimo Lopez fan. But I'm still a realist about all of their skill sets. I can break down what their strengths and weaknesses are. I can give my opinion on who I think would win out of certain fighters that would, if they were to fight, whatever the case may be. But all in all, stop hating on Shakur Stevenson. Put some respect on his name. And if you can't do that, then just be quiet. Because you're talking out your mouth. You're talking out your ass, really. Just because you don't like him. But don't discredit what he does. Don't discredit his skill set. You don't have to like what he say. You don't have to like what he do. But in the ring, keep it real. Put some respect on that man. This is why he is avoided. This is why Tank hasn't fought him. This is why Teofimo Lopez probably won't fight him. I don't even think that Ryan Garcia want to get in the ring with Shakur. I haven't even heard nothing about that. And then also, like I said, if it's Tank, Devin, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, Rolly, Stevenson will roll all of them, in my opinion. He will roll them up easy. And then y'all gonna come up with more excuses. Same thing y'all was doing about Bud Crawford. Although as soon as he came to 147, y'all was saying, "Oh yeah, he ain't fought nobody." Oh man, that person ain't Thurman, Porter, or Arrow. Nah, but y'all scared to admit that they was all avoiding Bud Crawford. They were scared of Bud Crawford. And they watched how Bud kept walking through every fighter to get to the top dog. He fought Sean Porter. Sean Porter was a gatekeeper. Knocked him out. Gave him his first stoppage. And then when he was able to get in the ring with the guy that y'all kept saying he couldn't beat, and all his little fans and started hating and being disrespectful to Bud, y'all made it worse for Errol because y'all gave so much ammunition to Bud Crawford. That's why he said, y'all already know me. I get active, and he got active on that boy. So at the end of the day, man, may the best man win in any particular fight. But stop hating on Shakur, because Shakur is still one of the top fighters of this era right now. He just hasn't been able to get the opportunities to get the big time fights or to get the big names in the ring with him. So, Tank got Roach to worry about right now. We'll see what Devin called out Teofimo. So, let's see that. Hopefully we can see that. And I don't know. We'll see what happens with Shakur. He got to fight, Zapata or whatever. Tough guy, tough fighter. May the best man win. If Shakur was to lose, I'm not gonna make excuses and say, "Oh no, he was having a bad." Nah, I'm gonna be real and be like, "Hey, Zepeda bit that. He put hands on that boy." Matt Styles make fights, right? But don't hate on Shakur because he's a winner. He's gifted. You know, he's gifted, more gifted than probably most of all of these fighters out there right now. Besides like Bud and maybe Canelo. But salute to y'all, man. And regardless of how we feel on the outside, salute to Shakur Stevenson. Keep doing your thing, fam. Just do your job. Be whoever's in front of you. The haters gonna hate. The haters gonna discriminate. The haters gonna race bait. But be the best version of yourself. Be who you are. One.